Oh my gosh. Does that new intro music slap or what?
Oh my gosh, that really got us started off right, bro. That does
Insane.
slap.
Insane way to start a Monday. Well, everybody, I hope that was as invigorating for you as it was for us. My name is Sean Grapevine. I'm the Vice President of Strategy here at UMortgage. Thank you so much for joining us for this Monday market update. Happy to have you aboard. I know your time is valuable, so we will try to make this time as valuable, or at least as entertaining for you as possible as we wind our way through the stories of last week and the future that this week holds. I am joined today by the one, the only, Matt, the mortgage guy, Gougé. He is a YouTube star, a sensation. He's his stock is rising faster than GameStop's stock is rising this morning, and he's cheesier and more supple than even the cheesiest and most supple of Gougères. Have you ever had a Gougère?
No, is a Gougé a thing?
Yeah, it's like the sort of French savory sort of puff pastry. Well, it's not really puff pastry. I think it's pâte à choux mixed with Gruyere cheese. They're so like soft and warm and cheesy, just like you.
I love it, man. Love it. Yeah, I haven't tried a Gougé, but I shall try soon.
Yeah, you got to have one. It's you're named. You're practically named after it. Did you understand my GameStop reference?
No, is GameStop doing something? I haven't logged on to see what meme stocks are up to today.
Yeah, I mean, so you remember like the original, like GameStop.
I remember the original for sure.
I mean, I that was the craziest day ever. Yeah, kind of did the same thing again for like 2 hours this morning. The guy who originally really like blew up GameStop during 2021 or what? Yeah, it was January of 2021. He just posted like a single graphic, just like a picture of him leaning forward in the seat to Twitter on Sunday yesterday, and everybody took that to mean like pile in. So it was fun watching people just like, I mean, this guy, I mean, he holds a lot of power. I mean, it was billions of dollars, made.
That was a wild time for anybody who followed. And just shout out to the internet. The internet is just a wonderful
undefeated.
Thing.
Internet
undefeated.
Undefeated. Yeah, it was crazy. I made a bunch of money that day. I never do that, but I just got taken. I just thought it was so ridiculous. I was like, I want to participate in this because like it's a moment. It's like it's a cultural touchdown. I think I got a documentary about it on Netflix that I haven't watched it. Anyway, Maddie, how was your weekend, buddy?
It was good. Mother's Day weekend. Shout out to all the mothers near and far. Hardest job in the world by a long shot. Anybody who's been around kids for any number of hours can agree that, being a mother and doing all the things that mothers do for kids is exhausting. And that's what this weekend was because we took the kiddos out of town, short little 24-hour trip. Lake Tahoe, which is about 2-hour drive for me from Sacramento. Such a beautiful place. Have you ever been to South Lake Tahoe in I
haven't spent enough time out west.
Okay. Out west here, me and my wife were joking about it. Like in the summertime, sometimes you'll go and you're like, everyone in the world knows about Lake Tahoe because everyone in the world is here and it's just absolutely packed. Apparently, like before, what's the holiday, the end of May? Is it Memorial Day?
Either Labor Day or Memorial Day.
One of these holidays that's coming up, like before that, apparently, like they're not so busy. So it was like chill. The beaches weren't super packed, but it was like 60 degrees and sunny. It was gorgeous. Lake Tahoe's like the clearest lake ever. Me and my kiddo got on a paddle boat. You can like see the ground 20 feet below you. Like the water is so
crazy. Wow.
So yeah, beautiful time in Lake Tahoe, celebrating my beautiful wife, the mother of my two beautiful boys. So it was good. It was a good weekend. What about you, Mr. Grapevine? How was your weekend?
Mother's Day brunch with my mom, and got in, some running. I ate some chips and queso, which really the highlight of the weekend. Honestly, I ate
everything. Quick little sidebar too. Like I have having a stomach that doesn't like really feel that great today. My wife warned me yesterday. Eating everything in sight, not a good play, but enough about me. You had a great weekend full of chips and queso.
Yeah, I made homemade Caesar salad yesterday. Grilled chicken. Man, my wife, she's very lucky. Very lucky. I'm
very lucky.
Yeah, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. She's a very, very lucky woman. Well, Maddie, today we're going to get into a few things. We're going to go over the numbers like we usually do. And then after that, we're on video right now. There are hundreds of people watching. Maybe, I don't know, tens at least. And I know you're a big proponent of using video. We got a lot of loan officers who watch, a lot of real estate agents who watch. And video is, it's here to stay. These camcorders are portable camcorders are really making our lives, very on display. And I know you use video in like your sales and your follow-up and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about tips, tricks, tactics surrounding video in a little bit. But first, let's do the numbers, shall we?
Let's jump to the numbers. And one quick thing for people that are on and are looking forward to that segment where we're going to talk about video. No matter what business you're in, I guarantee you a way to provide personalized client experience to your customers, no matter what you do. If you sell cookies, if you run a restaurant, whatever the heck you do, it's going to apply. So stay tuned because I love talking about video. I love the power of video, and I got some examples how video can really help your business and your client experience. So first, let's jump into some numbers. Let's nerd out some numbers, brother.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, would you guys be watching this if me and Matt's beautiful faces weren't on here? If it was just noise, no, you wouldn't do it. Videos, especially when you're as pretty as Matt and I, definitely the way to go. Let's do the numbers. So first up, we've got mortgage rates from last week. A second consecutive week they have dipped. I forgot. I'm controlling the slide deck here. There we are. And they are now hovering again, as Matt often caveats here. These numbers are for a specific scenario with a specific batch of lenders. Impossible to say. I honestly don't know if it's like they're paying 1 point or what the credit score is here. But the key is like tracking the same scenario week over week, which this chart does. So you see that we've had some significant declines in rate. And the reason for that has been a few things. First of all, the jobs numbers came in super low 2 Fridays ago. And then last Thursday, we had the jobless claims. So the higher that goes, the fewer, more jobless claims, more people are claiming that they're jobless. And for the first time in recent memory, it wasn't 210,000, 212,000, 214,000, like it had been for about 9 or 10 weeks in a row prior. I think it was at 231,000. So a significant increase, like almost a 6 or 7% increase in jobless claims. And as a result, it was more fuel to the fire for rates to come down, maybe presaging a new rate lowering, a rate easing sometime in the more near future. Now, Matt and I are both sort of skeptical of when this is going to happen. Me more skeptical than Matt. But you see rates come down in your actual rate stack, Matt?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and it's funny too because no matter how many times we get beaten and bloodied and we see rate worsenings, just give us a little bit of green, a little bit of rate betterment, and just directionally moving in that direction feels rather good. And it's just like, it continues to be a really, really interesting time with, generally speaking, this time of year is when the most action is had, and there's the most buyers in the market during the spring. Prices are as high as they've ever been in most markets. Some can point towards like summer of 22 as a peak, but with all that going on, rates still, provide kind of a throttle up and down for demand. And so the direction of rates and where rates go is going to determine how many real estate transactions we see, how, competitive the market is. And so it's something that, if nothing else, if you just log on and look at this, if you're in the market to buy anytime in the near future, just have an idea of where rates at and where they're, kind of going. I think it's a great reason to tune in every Monday and listen to us talk, right? Because we're going to at least give you an idea of where rates are at. So,
and this is only for conventional. I mean, 7% is bordering on reasonably affordable based on the last 12 months. And then you see FHA there is at 6.78. Now, that I think is pretty high estimation. Most lenders make most of their profit margin on FHA. You'll see that this disproportionately affects people of color, people who are lower on the pay scale. They usually have much higher margins. This isn't true for brokers. In fact, clients save $10,000 to $14,000 more when using a broker, which is what UMortgage is, as compared with a typical lender, because we don't pad our fees and make an extra $10,000 to $14,000 on these lower income borrowers. So you see here it says FHA 6.78. I think you're probably seeing lower rates in your rate stack, Matt. And then you see even lower rates. And this just again goes to show that this company who puts out this chart is they would rather show the 15-year conforming than the VA rates, which I think are more important. They serve, a more important group of people. And the VA is literally the best loan in existence, right? It's the best loan in the history of the world. No MI, no money down, lower rates, right? I bet you VA is somewhere in the 6.5s right now. So you might be seeing 7% for a conforming, but if you have veteran buyers, they're probably looking in the 6.25 to 6.5%, which is incredibly reasonable, especially when you think about the fact that there's no PMI, et cetera, no down payment needed, and much more lenient qualification. So have you seen these Govy rates lower than what you're seeing here? And by
yeah,
Govy,
for sure.
I mean
and
VA, FHA.
Right. And to your point, the government stuff where some companies choose to make more margin on FHA and VA, and then, are thin on margin and competitive and conventional. As brokers, we're just thin everywhere, right? And just providing the best possible rates to everybody. I won't even get started with VA and how much better we are than some of these big national companies that spend all their money on marketing, but then they charge an extra $10,000 to the veteran.
It's insane. I love it. I mean, I hate it, but I love it when I get a loan estimate from those who should not be named. But if they
wouldn't name Veterans United if you ask me, but
sure,
don't use them. I think what's important here for people to realize, Sean, is they're like, holy crap, Sean and Matt just talked about 5 different scenarios, 5 different loan types. I don't know my credit score exactly. Everyone's scenario is different. This is why you talk to an advisor who you like and you trust. Going to say, okay, your credit score is 644. You're a first-time home buyer. FHA might make the most sense for you. Let's price that. And then when the client says, are you sure this is the best? Yeah, I can put 3% down conventional next to it. And I'll show you how FHA's got lower mortgage insurance. This is the best fit for you. I've looked through thousands of scenarios over the last 10 years. And I can tell you with absolute certainty, based on your scenario, your specific scenario, this is what's best for you.
Agreed. Yeah. Got to have a local mortgage advisor that you trust. That's even if they're not local to you, that they are, important. They're part of their community. They're part of. They're not just sat in a call center somewhere waiting for you to call. So before we get on to the FedWatch tool here, which we'll go over very, very briefly, we'll also briefly go over what is on tap for this week. This chart next week is going to look a lot different, and I can't tell you which direction it's going to go, but I would expect high volatility. Do you know the sort of big numbers that are coming out, Matt? Let's test your knowledge of this week's
Not a good
numbers.
day to test me. I pass. I pass.
Okay, all right. We'll go on to the next person, which is me. So tomorrow we've got PPI, the Producers Price Index. That's like inflation for people who make things, right? For factories, how much does it cost to produce the stuff we buy at the store? Following that, actually not following that, at the exact same time, 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, we have CPI, Consumer Price Index. So that is inflation that you and I experience. Well, supposedly, I mean, the number that's most supposed to reflect your and my experience at the grocery store or the Target, or in Matt's case, play it again sports. Do you guys have those? Play it again sports?
For sure.
Is that
okay?
Yes. Because where he's buying his his Razor scooters for himself, and that's it.
My 11-year-old kid just got a new baseball bat, and we did not buy it Play It Again Sports. We bought it new, and so that's.
Oh, you Play It Again Sports? That's a used sporting goods store. That makes sense. All right, it wouldn't. My joke doesn't
you
make
Play
sense.
It Again. Yeah.
That makes That makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, my joke
People
doesn't
are probably
make
shopping
sense.
more at Play It Again because the prices on new stuff continues to go up.
That's true. That's true. So anyway, CPI, Play It Again Sports, etc. We've got retail sales. So how much are people spending? That number has been incredibly resilient. Everybody on this call, everybody's watching, put that credit card away, put that debit card away. Don't spend as much money, so that maybe interest rates get a little better. We got jobless claims again, as we do every Thursday. We've got housing starts, and then peppered throughout the week, we've got these Fed governors, Fed heads, Fed executives, just chattering into microphones placed in front of their yapping maws every day, and one of them is liable to say something that moves markets. Last week, we had a Fed governor. Even though jobless claims came out higher, we had a Fed governor say, "I wouldn't be surprised if there's a rate hike," and everybody kind of freaked out about that. So it softened some of the jobless benefits that we were going to get. So huge week. I've never seen a week this big that didn't have a Fed like decision in it. The only thing we're missing here is like GDP, but yeah, PPI, CPI, retail sales, jobless claims, housing starts, and Fed governors yapping. So it should be really, really interesting. I can't wait to see where we end up. I'm hoping for good news. Low inflation would be best, believe it or not. And
allow us to let rates trickle down a little bit. Wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't mind us being in the high sixes for some of these first time home buyers that need a little bit of rate relief and payment relief.
100%. Speaking of 100%, 27.6%, or let's see, 29.6%, that there is a chance that there's a reduction in the July Fed meeting. That is what traders think. They think there's still time. Oh, these poor optimistic souls. Not going to happen. And put it on the board. Sorry, everybody. I mean, July 31st is a long time. It's all of May. I guess there's no June one. So it is a long time from now. So they have time to get messaging in order if they're going to do that. But yeah, not going to happen. We'll see what CPI and PPI say, but not going to happen. I'm
still voting for it to happen. It's good to have a little bit of disagreement at times. Like, I still think that like the whole
in July and the next meeting,
I just think the economic picture is much rosier than people think. The data that shows, a strong, resilient economy is either lagging or manipulated or a combination of the two. But like the conversations I have, Sean, people are struggling. And I don't know. That's probably the bias in me that just sees that like 1/8 to 1/4 in rate reduction that we might see once we start, officially cutting. Like, I just want my borrowers to save $80 a month when they're buying their first house.
Sure. I want it. Yeah, I want it. I mean, hey, I mostly agree with you. Sounds like you need to be telling your borrowers to buy some GameStop stock. Well, or you should have told them. You missed your chance. So, maybe next time. Just kidding. Don't do that. We've got. I think the only other prediction I have up is for September, which has a 64% chance of easing. I still think that is overbought or oversold. But should be super interesting. I think tomorrow's numbers at 8:30 a.m. will tell us a lot. I've got like a little alert. I'll be on a run at that time, but I got a little alert on my phone that will tell me what the numbers are when they come out. That's how excited I am.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be out there trying to outrun inflation as the inflation numbers come in, and we'll see how Sean Grapevine fares, and we'll talk about it next week. He was able to outrun inflation.
I can't outrun much, but definitely trying to out Jerome Powell. I think I can do that. So those are the numbers, everybody. Matt, let's jump right into using. It's apropos that we're talking about video on video. What are all the ways you use video for prospecting and for updating?
Okay, I'll talk about the way I use it. Then I'll tell you some stories about how I think it's applicable to every single business in 2024. Anybody who's not paying attention, if you're here, you watch video. If you're operating any business in 2024, it's how most of your clients are taking in information. I remember seeing a stat that's probably 2 years old now that the way people intake their information, their online research and all that is 91 to 92% video. So whether you're trying to, fix your refrigerator, whether you're trying to look for an affordable plumber, whatever you're trying to do in life, chances are you Google the fix and then you come up on a video that you watch oh, maybe I should check this thing in the back of my fridge and that's going to help me fix it. If not, I can Google and find videos on the best local plumber. But
it's crazy. I can back that up. I do a lot of cooking, and the way I used to do it was look up recipes or go to the New York Times recipe page, which is really good. But now what I do is I pull up Instagram and then I search what if I want trying to figure out how to cook pork belly, right? I just need inspiration and some instruction on it. I don't need a whole recipe. I'm gonna do that, but I don't know how long to cook it for, or what the various things to do are. So I'll just do crispy pork belly in the little search bar, and then I'll click reels, and then I'll click the first one, and then I'll just scroll through for 10 or 15 minutes. So I feel like I know how to cook pork belly. It's crazy. I get so much more content than reading one recipe for 10 or 15 minutes. And I get alternate viewpoints. I get some style of presentation is better for the way I learn. Some style isn't. And it's the only way I get inspo and instruction. Inspo. I just said inspo.
Inspo. Cool? Yeah, you're so young and hip. But it's right. In your case, in most people's cases, I'm a visual learner. I need somebody talking to me. I need to see something visually. And so all this rate talk, all the stuff that we talked about on why FHA is better than conventional for a certain buyer, it's one thing to say it and have a phone conversation about it. With first-time home buyers, with all buyers for that matter, not only do I want to talk to them about what their best scenario is, I want to send them an Excel spreadsheet. It's going to be overwhelming and daunting. So what I do in my business is I record myself on Loom talking through it. Like we discussed earlier, based on your credit score and your down payment and your goals, FHA loan is going to be the best loan, but don't take my word for it. Check out this Excel spreadsheet I made side by side. As you can see, FHA mortgage insurance about half the price of the conventional based on your specific scenario and credit score. Also, the rate's going to be a little bit lower on FHA. So as you can see here, same cash out of pocket, you're going to save about $180 per month for FHA. So I think that makes the most sense for you. You can do that with the loan estimate. As a real estate agent, you can do that talking people through neighborhoods. For most people, seeing it visually is going to help them. The thing I love about video too, Sean, which some people don't, bring up or they might forget about, if you're explaining a complex subject to somebody and you send them a video, guess what they get to do if they watch it through once and they don't fully understand? They get to watch it again.
Yeah, 100%. I do it all the time. I'm such a space cadet. I have to. I'm always.
Yeah, you watch that pork belly video. You're like, what did he say? I glaze what? Or I started on 350 degrees. Just watch it again, and you get that information. I could go through 1,000 different scenarios, Sean. But I challenge loan officer, real estate agent, video content producer, whoever you are, use video. Another cool thing I've seen a lot, Sean, is people who are creating standard operating procedures. They're creating things inside their business. The best way to do that, record a video. You want someone to do something and you want to show them how to do it, Why don't you walk them through step by step the 9 steps it takes for that specific thing, create a Loom video. Now you have a link to it. If you want to get really fancy.
Matt, what's a Loom video?
Oh my gosh. Loom is an amazing software. We're not sponsored by Loom. Loom, if you're listening, reach out to your boy. I'm happy to sponsor for, I don't know, a free year of Loom. It's really, really affordable. So a free year is not that big.
I think that's a reasonable offer.
Yeah, reasonable offer. I press record, a little bubble with my face. I can put that on the entire screen so I can have, a Google page, Google Chrome up in the background. I can drag over an Excel spreadsheet. I can go from one page to the next. I'm going to record a video after this, Sean, because I just had this bright idea today. Google for mortgage rates is a great place for people that don't want to be lured into leads. They don't want to be lured into, that. And searching like an average rate online can be daunting for some people. I'm going to walk people through this, and I'm going to say, hey, you want to look at the average mortgage rate? Not only do you get to see it on Google, Sean, but you get to go $400,000 price point, 10% down.
I'm doing that exact.
You type in your credit score. That video is going to go live in the next couple of weeks, Sean. People are going to love it. It's going to be evergreen. It's going to live forever. If anybody ever wants to know where they can get an unbiased opinion where someone's not trying to sell them anything, they're going to check out my video on how to find the average interest rate in your city based on your credit score.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. So would you say like what we showed earlier at like rates at about 7.04% versus what I'm seeing here on Google of like 7.28? You're way closer to the street on this. Who's more accurate?
I think Google's more accurate. I think like you talked about too on the one that you had, conventional was probably a little bit too rosy, and FHA and VA might have been a little bit, overshot and too conservative. But this one, in my opinion, more closely mirrors what people are locking, because most people today aren't spending 2 points to buy the interest rate down.
Right.
That conventional,
especially if they've got you as a loan officer, they'll know not to do that.
Right. Yeah. If they get proper advice, like, hey, you're not going to be in this loan for more than 36 months, let's lock it. But let's not get sidetracked, Sean. Me and you can go chasing squirrels. Video. What do you have to say about how people should be using video in their business? How much of an impact that can have for anybody, really?
Yeah, I've experimented with video a lot in the sales process in various areas, but mostly in the sort of real estate and mortgage world. And I love that it can be asynchronous, so it's a way to communicate without necessarily needing communication back immediately, but still personalized. People can tell that you've put so much effort and work into it. And people don't buy mortgages, Matt. They buy people, right? I mean, not in like a weird way, but like they love, like, people. It's all about relationships, not transactions. And in the day and age where people aren't wandering into your branch, right? Like, you're not working at the first Consolidated Bank of Sacramento, wearing a 3-piece suit in a bowler, and servicing the needs of gold miners. I don't know. Was there much gold mining in Sacramento back in the day?
I think there was. I think old Sacramento, they've got some cool historical stuff there that once upon a time I went and learned some stories. But so
anyway, you're not having that face-to-face interaction, which was hugely advantageous. But again, it requires foot traffic, requires people to actually come visit you. It's hugely inefficient. And I actually even think, like, not just sending videos like Loom's or their competitor. I'm not as loyal to Loom. Their competitor BombBomb. Having video meetings, right? I try and make as many of my meetings like video. Right, like, I never pick up the phone at work. If I'm going to talk to a colleague, like, it's going to be on Teams or Workplace or Google Meet or whatever it is. I just think there's so much more value in that. So people get to know you, understand you. They can see your facial expressions. As somebody who's like overly sarcastic, it's important, that I give many clues as to when I'm making my stupid jokes, so that people don't think I'm serious about the dumb stuff that I say. So yeah, I mean, I just think it really seals the deal on in terms of like creating a relationship where people understand who you are, they know, what makes you tick, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's incredibly personal in a day and age where there's a lot of text message, um, maybe a phone call, maybe an email. It just to me feels more personal when I receive them, and I think it feels the same way for a consumer when they do the same. A great example: somebody at UMortgage, Brian Cardenas, showed how he does it when he's reaching out to the listing agent on an offer. He sends a personalized video, says, "I've reviewed the Smith file. They've just put an offer on this beautiful home you've got listed. Maybe you're on the page of that home's listing.
Yeah,
Just want
great
to let you
idea.
know I've got a full file, some well-qualified clients. We've thoroughly reviewed it. We've run DU. Rest assured, we can close this thing in under 21 days. Cindy, the buy-side agent, wrote. She's a great agent. Me and her communicate really well. We'll keep you updated throughout the process." That 1-minute video is going to do more to help that buyer's offer get accepted than a lot of other things that agents are doing in a competitive market. So before we get too long-winded and we stay on here forever, I got a 9 a.m. to jump onto.
Good for you. I'm glad we've got a hard stop here. Otherwise, we would just keep going forever.
All day long, all day long. I can't wait to get with you next week, man, to talk about CPI, PPI, you outrunning inflation, all that.
Ooh, it's gonna be. Oh, you know what? I'll be in Hawaii next week, so we're gonna have to find a replacement. I just remembered that. Got to tell the team. I'll send you a video from Hawaii talking about what my thoughts are on it. We'll find a suitable replacement.
I'll be here for sure.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your week. See you next week if you're Matt, and 2 weeks from now if you're me. Bye, everyone.
See you, brother.